Like I'm gonna have to react to this one in real time because holy shit. I imagine that she's crazy and would be like one of the craziest bosses to work for. And like a lot of the times, for those of us who have worked for crazy people, which, I think we all have at this point, it hurts us. It hurts us and our career prospects. And the reality is we're working for crazy people. We're doing the best we can with what we have, okay? So let's go back here. All right.
A mind-blowing 37-page document
Oh my God.
for staffers of Kyrsten Sinema has been leaked.
Which, by the way, if you, this is one of the reasons that I was able to get a settlement out of my situation when I had a crazy boss, is that she wrote such an enormously long attack against me that it proved that she was overly obsessed with trying to target me. And it was just so fucking bizarre. It was so bizarre, and we were able to leverage that.
And some of the demands in this memo are just amazing. So I'm going to share this with you. This is a piece that was broken by the Daily Beast. It's a long article. I have taken out sections to share with you and laugh along at how absurd all of this is. Now, they do give the caveat that this is likely from a couple of years ago, so it may not be up to date.
Oh, it's probably gotten worse, right? Like, it was a couple of years ago, right? A couple of years ago. We've seen that she's gotten more insane as time goes on. So I'm sure that the demands are getting like way worse. I don't understand. Like, this is one thing that future employers should really consider is, do you actually, like, if somebody had a hard time at their former employer, it doesn't mean that they were a bad employee. There are way more bad bosses out there than there are bad employees. I'll tell you that much.
That said, I don't know. That she asked for any of this at any time is insane, and she is likely, considering the kind of individual she is, the kind of senator she is, someone who does not care at all about people, clearly from her actions. Yeah. I'd be surprised if much of this has changed. But let's go through this, all right? So they start with some amazing demands here. Always have a room temperature bottle of water on hand for her at all times. Make sure you get her groceries and book her a weekly hour-long massage.
What?
Those are just a few of the tasks framed in a dizzying array.
Hold up, girlfriend. That's your personal assistant job. Like, you want that kind of shit done, you get a personal assistant. You don't have your congressional staffers, your fucking Senate staffers do that kind of bullshit for you. Now, yeah, the room temp water, because like I worked for a French company and they always wanted to drink everything at room temp, which I found really bizarre, but like, I don't know, that's something. Certain cultures, they like to drink their water at room temp. Okay, whatever. But if you need some fucking massages, go book them yourself, bitch, or get a personal assistant.
Of do's and don'ts that have fallen to the staffers of Senator Kyrsten Sinema, according to an internal memo obtained by the Daily Beast. So I'll get to more examples here. I just gotta say, I've never had a single professional massage in my life.
Wow, you're missing out, dude. David, you are missing out. I'll tell you, it is really nice to have an hour-long massage, but I've only had about 2 in my lifetime. I don't get them on a weekly basis, like Miss Sinema here, who can afford that kind of bullshit. But it is very nice to have them. You didn't even have like a girlfriend who did it for you? Come on now.
I'm not saying this is a badge of honor. I am a moron. I should be getting a massage. But a weekly hour-long massage, to spoil some of what's coming up here, this is more time than...
Dude, I used to get weekly massages when I was going through my first injury. My first workers' comp injury was I had repetitive stress in my left arm. I had nerve damage in my left arm, and part of my treatment was weekly massages. and it actually fucking hurt, dude. It hurt. I felt like I was getting punched all over the fucking place. I felt like I got beat up on a weekly basis. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It depends on like how it's done. But they were trying to do like deep tissue massage, and they were beating the shit out of me. It fucking hurt, dude. I ended up having to say, hey, can we stop doing this? Like, this is not, I don't feel good at the end of this. And isn't the goal for me to heal?
She gives to her constituents. Double the time that she gives to her constituents on a weekly basis. She gives more time to her massage than she does to speaking to constituents. Wow. Not that Sinema needs to be exposed, but it exposes her motivations here, which is really about just.
Well, I think everybody knows she's a petty bitch, right? Everybody knows this at this point. Like she has no moral values. She's not interested in helping the working class. She's looking for opportunities to get donations to her campaign, and she realizes that she fucked over the Democratic Party, and so they're not going to help her anymore, and that's why she's like, I'm an independent now. Okay, girlfriend. Let's see how that works out for you in Arizona.
Being pampered, getting all the luxuries that come with someone in this position. So the Senate Ethics Handbook states that the staff are compensated for the purpose of assisting senators in their official, legislative, and representational duties, and not for the purpose of performing personal or other non-official activities for themselves on behalf of others. Whoa. Clearly, some of the stuff here is breaking.
Wait a minute. Does that mean that they're actually going to fucking like take back the pay from these employees who had to perform these menial tasks for her? The bullshit that they had to do for her, and are they going to lose their pay over this bullshit? That's some Oh my god, she's such a bitch. I can't even.
Rules. Craig Holman, a congressional ethics expert with the nonprofit group Public Citizen, says Sinema's apparent demands that staffers conduct personal tasks amount to a clear violation of Senate ethics rules and would typically warrant a formal reprimand by the Senate Ethics Committee.
Okay, do it then.
You do wonder, would any of this ever even consider being investigated unless it got released publicly? Because
no.
Is the committee going around and looking at each senator, each staff, or each
They should, right? They should have an audit every year of everybody's fucking budget. They should. Because this is taxpayer money. They should have an audit every fucking year of every one of these goddamn budgets. That should be part of the process.
Member of Congress and what they demand of their staff, very unlikely. So this seems more like something that has to come out publicly first for there to be any pressure to actually do an investigation. This, again, may be a couple years old, this memo here, so this likely precludes them from having to do any formal investigation, but there's no way they are proactive on this stuff, considering all of this was already in there. Oh my God. Now, more here. So another section laid out in detail Sinema's eating schedule.
Oh, God.
Due to her very high level of activity, so apparently a big piece of this as well is that she runs marathons, so there's a lot around her training and time allotted for training. And
oh my God, how do you have time to do this bullshit? How do you have time to do that? How do you have all the time in the world to do all of your personal tasks like this? You're supposed to be representing in government. What the fuck? So you basically do nothing, bitch, except for vote no when we want you to vote yes.
And waking up early for runs and all this stuff. So because of her very high level of activity, she is always hungry and needs to consume a lot of protein each day, it reads, specifying that she needs to eat between 12 and 12:30 p.m., 2 and 2:30 p.m., and 5 and 6:30 p.m. It states Sinema brings her own lunch and snack to work. Oh, thank heavens.
Yeah. Okay.
But that she cannot be scheduled beyond 6:30 p.m. without staff ensuring that she has dinner.
Well, I don't know.
So,
I mean, look, if she has a high metabolism, whatever. Hopefully she's getting up really fucking early and doing this running on her own time, right? if she has a high metabolism. But yeah, if she's bringing her own food, then that's cool. That's cool. Like, I brought tons of food. I was walking 8 hours a day. I made sure I had dry fruit and nuts in the car at all times. I made sure I was packing extra food for my canvassers because I knew that they were doing a lot of physical activity too. Um, Make sure I was drinking at least 4 bottles of water every day while I was walking. I don't think she's. I don't know. She's a marathon runner, I guess. I don't think she was doing as much physical activity as I was, but like, if she's getting up early in the morning to do her training for her marathons, fine. Okay, 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 girlfriend, let's go.
While she brings her own lunch and snack, good on her. The staff has to make sure that they schedule dinner for her.
This might be. I'm not gonna give her a hard time for that, because I know that when I got injured by the dog, they tried to modify my duties and they stopped allowing me to actually like stop and have lunch. They stopped. They became so fucking hostile to me after I was injured that I didn't have an opportunity to eat. So I'm not going to give her crap for this, because maybe she was getting overbooked. Okay? I'm not going to give her crap on this one.
I guess isn't the worst, but it does show you someone that is, at the very least, demanding in terms of what they expect and the level of luxury they need others to.
I don't think the dinner break is I disagree with you on that point. I don't think having a dinner break is too demanding. The girl needs to eat. She's got a high metabolism, whatever. Let's go.
Rise to in terms of trying to accommodate them. More here.
Oh, God. Why do you have your videos monetized?
Sinema does not like to fly.
Shit.
The memo reads, using the senator's initials, it is your job to make her as comfortable as possible on each flight. Unsurprisingly, some staffers found these instructions and Sinema's zeal in ensuring they were followed to the letter to not only be onerous, but detrimental to the overall staff's mission to serve constituents, craft policy, and communicate that work to Arizona. Quote, when I look back, it's unbelievable the amount of time staffers spent just to accommodate her, said the former aide. So, this is someone that worked for her. They know what these people are like. I can't imagine Sinema is the only one like this, but it wouldn't surprise me if she is one of the worst. And according to this piece, she is one of the worst, at least from their knowledge, in terms of the sorts of demands.
Could you imagine working for like Lindsey Graham? Or Mansion or something? Like, you think it's okay? So she's a horrible representative, right? She's a horrible representative, but she's probably getting more crap because she's a woman. I'm sure that like working for Rand Paul would probably be worse.
On staffers and time that she needs for her personal time, comparing to the time that she uses for her actual job. Now, this is where we really get to the worst part of it. So the document outlines that Sinema should keep all meetings with constituents in her DC office limited to a block on Wednesdays. Her former aide told the Daily Beast that Sinema would stack as many constituent meetings as possible, usually no longer than 3 minutes, into a half-hour period on Wednesdays.
Oh my God.
Again, her hour-long weekly massage, double the time that she gives to constituents, and those constituents only get 3 minutes apiece.
Wow.
That meant that Sinema likely spent more time during the work week in physical therapy appointments and massages than with constituents. The document also outlines that scheduling...
Hold up. You just called them physical therapy appointments. Does she have some sort of injury? Is she recovering from something? Because it's not called physical therapy if you're not recovering from an injury. I mean, I've gone through physical therapy. I'm going through it right now. I've done it in the past when I had the injury to my left arm. And I've gone through it when my right knee was slipped. I had to go through physical therapy. But it's not called physical therapy if you don't actually have an injury. At that point, it's just a fucking luxury. So, did she actually get injured?
Coffee meetings with lobbyists and donors are fine, and to allot those 15 to 20 minutes, a comparatively lengthy stretch of time for a senator routinely scheduled down to the second. So when it comes to donors, oh, yeah, schedule those meetings. Those are important meetings.
Wait a minute. I want to circle. I want to circle back to this. If she actually had a fucking injury, then these staffers are being assholes. If she actually had an injury where she is required to have physical therapy, actual physical therapy, then these staffers are being assholes about her medical schedule. So I'd like to know the truth on this, please. Was she doing this for just pampering, or was she actually recovering from an injury? Please tell me, because I don't want to come after people if I'm not doing it in a sincere way. And I don't like her, obviously. I don't like her politics, obviously. But if she is actually recovering from an actual injury, I'm not going to give her crap about her physical therapy schedule.
Constituents, 3 minutes in a half-hour block weekly. Jesus, this really goes to the heart of how people in positions of power, especially those on the national level in Congress, largely, again, not all of them, of course, but largely just are completely disconnected from reality. And you wonder why nothing gets done. Because they are simply there to serve the money, the corporate money that got them into those positions, to ensure they keep those positions in the future in their next election.
Yeah, but you know what? If she's actually recovering, those particular words, physical therapy, indicates that she had some level of injury. If that's in case the actual, like, what's happening here. She's not just getting massages because she is being pampered or whatever. Like, if it's actual physical therapy, then there's something deeper going on here. This is upsetting to me because, like, if we're going to attack her, which we should because she's terrible, we should attack her on the right subjects. But we certainly shouldn't attack her about her medical schedule if she's recovering from an injury. And the only reason you would say physical therapy is she had some level of injury. So I would like some more information on this.
They keep winning and winning and winning because they keep raising enough money to win those elections. That money comes from these donors that they serve. The constituents are just, I imagine these meetings that she has with constituents are really just there as a way to first pretend she gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like she can say, oh, I talk with my constituents every week. So, she can claim she does. While at the same time, maybe, picking up on things here and there to latch onto when it comes to releasing statements about certain issues and pretending she gives a shit about those issues. But in reality, behind the scenes, you can see what she actually cares about. So there's more about, fundraising and the time she uses for that as well. Of course, a lot more in terms of fundraising, time spent doing that than spent with constituents. And to give her credit here, look, I'm fair. I'm going to give her credit. I could have not shown this at all, but I will. In at least one small respect, however, staffing Sinema isn't so intense. Call her senator when referring to her, when referring her to a third party, but when speaking with her directly, call her Kyrsten. So okay. You can call her by her first name if you work for her. Oh, she's so kind. I don't even know what to say. These people are ridiculous. Again, this speaks to a larger issue with the Senate and with members of Congress, and it does necessarily.
You know what, though? That's kind of just like that's like grammatical correctness. I mean, as a proposal writer, like I had to follow a style guide. We had to have a style guide of how do you write things, when do you capitalize, when do you use official titles. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. That's really not a big deal. I think that's okay that she wants to be called by her first name when she's just having a conversation with you. Whatever.
Kyrsten Sinema, but it does give you a window into how these people live and why they are so damn disconnected.
Mm. Well, okay, so I don't think this article was particularly helpful because because of the things that I pointed out. Now, we know that she's a problem for us in the Senate. We know that she should be more aligned with democratic values and helping the working class. These are the points that need to be made. That she's not helping us get the relief packages to the people. She's not helping us there. But in regards to picking on some petty things like that, like I feel like the argument is misplaced, and it actually can backfire on us because of this bullshit. Like physical therapy is prescribed when you have an injury. I feel like this article is misplaced.